Hey everybody, Dr. Diane, your libido doc. Today we're talking about sexcations. Yes, you heard me right, sexcations. So what are sexcations? Sexcations are one of the best ways to lower stress and improve your libido, and I mean exactly what it says. It's basically a vacation where the number one focus is sex, for real. So this does a few different things, right? Because we've talked about this month. This month is stress and libido month. And we've talked a lot about stress's impact on libido. We've talked about how females get aroused in different ways. And so the way that stress impacts the libido is oftentimes we feel emotionally disconnected and physically disconnected, and we feel overwhelmed. And that doesn't lead to us typically wanting to have sex. There are exceptions. So sexcations do a couple different things. One, they allow for the brain to have a moment where the sole purpose is nothing in the periphery. Everything is just focused on not only sex, but the reconnection around it. And I find that even if it's just like a sexcation evening where you rent a hotel room or a local weekend where you get away for a weekend, oftentimes this works really well, even if it's just like a once a month, if you can pull it off as like a weekend leaving the house and renting a hotel or Airbnb, even if it's local, or if all you can do is one night a month, but something that is breaking you out of your surroundings, whether it's breaking you out of work, hopefully, if you have kids, having a babysitter for kids, that sort of thing. And the idea with this is, what can you do to get away, to essentially have time to basically lower stress and connect, but not in this way where you're maybe, doing all these activities where maybe sexcation at a local hotel, you don't leave the hotel room. You get room service, you stay in bed, you take a bath, you have more sex. And the idea is not to get to orgasm as the primary goal, right? You're having sex over and over and over again. So it's really just about allowing yourself to feel the touch, to feel that connection, to feel relaxed. And so many times I hear that when people do this, that I talk to, they come back and not only do they feel refreshed and their sex is better and their stress is less, but they're more connected, right? Because that female cycle of arousal is that physical connection and emotional connection breeds arousal, and arousal breeds more of that. So these things wind up being very interrelated. So as we begin to connect more with our partner, we get more turned on and more aroused. We get more turned on and aroused, we find more connection. And as all of this happens, stress goes down. And if this feels like out of your budget right now, even doing something such as a home sexcation, right? Can you have one night a month or a weekend a month where either, if you don't have kids, it's easy. If you do have kids, can grandma or grandpa watch them, something like that, where you have a night or a weekend and you designate it, not as date night or date weekend, as sexcation. And I like the sexcation versus sex date because the difference is with a vacation, right? It's often about forgetting about the rest of the world and focusing just on the pleasure and whatever you're doing on your vacation. And that's the idea with this. It's about getting out of the way and allowing yourself to really feel momentarily, even if it's a staycation at your home, like, it doesn't matter if there's dishes in the sink. It doesn't matter if the floor needs swept. It doesn't matter if the kids' clothes are on the floor. As long as you have the house to yourself, have sex all over the house, right? So basically create your own version of sexcation. And so many times, like I said, people come back from these types of things. And not only does it help their love life and their sex life and all of that, but remember that oxytocin helps balance stress and helps stress to come down. It helps with depression. It helps with anxiety. So after this time where it's like we're not focusing on the stressors and we're just focusing on pleasure, what winds up happening so much of the time is we can then focus on the fact that we're not so stressed. So definitely schedule this stuff. This stuff doesn't happen if we don't schedule it. So we'd love to give you all the supportive care activity today of scheduling yourself a sexcation. And have a good time. If you are solo, you can even have a sexcation by yourself, right? Self-pleasure is always on the table. All right, everybody. I hope this has been helpful. Please do subscribe. Tell your friends about me, and I will see you in another video.